seduction, sex, lifestyle. For the true player at heart, Global SLR presents the real kings of pickup. Vince Hollywood Kelvin and Arash motherfucking Dibazar. Be the best and fuck the rest.
Welcome everyone to another episode of the Real Kings of Pickup, featuring Arash motherfucking Dibazar and myself, Vince Kelvin. In just a moment, we're going to take your questions. On my side, it's been one crazy weekend. I was invited to a sex party, a very exclusive one. I went there with an adult film star, and real fast, 3 awesome realizations. It was a bit of a new environment for me. So when you stretch yourself, initially it stirs you a little bit, but you continue to step it up. And when you do that, then you graduate to new levels. Other funny, interesting things, even though they were adult film stars over there, there were a lot of people who go to a lot of those. I realized that without the proper skills, it doesn't matter where you're at, people still struggle. There were a lot of people who were just kind of on the side and didn't really want to initiate. And eventually we got to initiate, my friend and I. And the third thing is also, what followed after that was not only a lot of sex over there, but also a lot of the girls I've been in touch with lately, as well as some of my current girls. Somehow they felt a pull, probably, even if I didn't mention it. So it's been a non-stop 3 days of sex marathon. But here's the lesson I want to share with you guys, is when you stretch yourself and you go beyond your best, then automatically you are able to realize that you need to fully honor yourself. The challenges that most people experience is they don't truly honor themselves. So it's on my side. Please mute your line, star 6 if needed. Meanwhile, I'm excited. We had spent a weekend together 2 weeks ago, so I'm excited to hear from Arash. What's new, brother?
What's going on, brother? Thursday night, life threw me a curveball. An unexpected situation occurred in my life, which really completely challenged me in ways that I didn't think I would ever be challenged. And Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and now we're on Monday, has been a continuous relearning, realizing, and coming to terms with deeper aspects of truth, to free myself from the mental clutches that would enable a situation like that to potentially devastate me. So I feel like the caterpillar that comes out of a cocoon, or is coming out of a cocoon, with brand new wings, with a lot of pain and a lot of suffering in the process. And my eyes are fresh, and I'm adjusting to my new level of understanding of life. So I'm sure that I'll be able to help better than I've helped before because of it. So I'm ready to go.
Wow, that is so moving because it's so honest. And also, I always do a disclaimer at the beginning of boot camps, because one of the reasons so many people play it safe is that when you play it safe, you're not permanently but momentarily at a place where it seems to be not so demanding. I mean, you don't come across the situations that you encounter when you constantly stretching yourself. So at boot camps, I said, we're going to accelerate your growth, which will stir you and cause all sorts of things to come up. And so Arash, you're the person that I know that goes at it stronger than anyone. And of course, it accelerates your growth and you encounter situations that most people will never. So, well, I'm thrilled, guys, and we are going to now answer your questions. I had to mute a lot of lines. Make an effort. If you're in a place where the sound's in the background, press *6 to mute your lines. We appreciate it. Meanwhile, gentlemen, who's going with the first question of the evening? You say your name, where you're calling from, and what your question is.
Hey, Vince, it's Mitch from Baltimore. How are you?
Awesome. Mitch,
okay.
Always good to have you on the call. What's your question?
Same to you. All right, interaction with a girl. Girl orders Miller Lite. Me, I said, you got to upgrade your beer.
It's so difficult to hear you, Mitchell. Make sure you speak a little louder.
Okay, interacting with a girl at a bar. I say to the girl, or the girl orders a Miller Lite. I say to her, got to upgrade your beer. She says, are you going to buy me a drink? If not, you have nothing to say. How does one respond to that in an alpha powerful manner?
Well, it's interesting. I would ask first, where did it come from initially? Did you say that so you would have something to say? What was the reason to tell her you got to upgrade your beer?
To really just joke around with her. To really just kind of
but was it something that made sense?
To say.
Are you a beer connoisseur and you said that because that was your genuine observation?
Yes.
And why should she upgrade her beer?
Well, the context was we were talking about fine beer. We were talking about good beers. And I was just kind of joking with her. That was the intent, at least.
Yeah, but it's important, whatever you're going to share with other people, talk about, to also think about it yourself. So when you do that more, automatically you have something to follow up. As always, number one, gentlemen, make sure you come from the right frame, foundational frame, number one, which is you are testing people. Okay? So you're not there to prove something. What comes to mind then for me, I would give the person one more chance by fucking with her a little bit. I would say, whoa, easy, killer. I come in peace. And it's not so much what you say, it's how you say it. Remember at the boot camp, I teach that when you open your mouth, women can respond in three ways. First one is silence, so say something silly. The second one is say a little something, but don't say much afterwards. And the third one, they give something a little richer to play with. What is the answer when it's the first one? Even if what you say after that isn't phenomenal at first, make sure that you say it a little more freely, with more conviction, with more power, with a greater presence than the initial thing you said. I always have you guys drill the example. I pass by and you say cool hair and I go, like it's a stupid thing to say. And you guys relax, you laugh a little bit and you go, yeah, I was just saying, those are some pretty cool fucking hair. But if it says softer the second time, then it subcommunicates that you're caving in. I will pass it to Arash and he will give you pure gold, I know. So Arash, what would you do in that situation?
Well, what I would do now, Mitch, I think is senior to what I would have done before Thursday. What I would have done before Thursday is I would have out-fucked the shit out of that girl. And she would have either ran or dropped to her knees and sucked me off. And that would have been her two fucking choices. However, having done that and been there, I can tell you that what I'm about to tell you I think is more senior. So what I would do now is simple. I would probably smile and nod. And I'd say, you're probably right. And then I would take a moment and I would reflect on why her comment was so upsetting to me. What was I, in quotes I, right? In quotes I, because it's not the true I, trying to protect and defend, and it just happened to be her this time, right? It could be somebody else next time. So I might as well take this opportunity now while it's in front of me to look inside and undo, if possible, it's not going to be easy, but there's an opportunity here, to undo whatever bullshit I may have agreed to right, that makes me such a puppet to somebody else's expression of life. That's what I would do now. And I know it's a little deep, but I can only speak from where I'm at. I can't speak from anywhere else, or I won't speak from anywhere else. So that's my answer.
Awesome, Arash. And Mitchell, you always remember, and guys, when a girl goes, an easy one, okay, then you get creative, but you need to have a few things to start with. Girl goes, are you going to buy me a drink? Or why don't you buy me a drink? You go, oh, I'll buy you a fucking Ferrari, 5 fur coats, 7 mansions. Yeah, that's what I do. I go around and I buy people shit. And you laugh and go, remember that one. Which brings me to an interesting point, gentlemen. Remember, it's something you heard before, Mitchell. I shared that with you. But to learn that stuff, it takes massive, massive, massive repetition. Because hearing it once, liking it, understanding it doesn't mean you are going to consistently recall it at the right time and deliver it in a way that will produce results. So, again, hustle. Hear it again and again and again. So, we're ready for the next question, gentlemen. I had to mute a lot of you guys because there's a lot of sounds around. You guys making me work. I'm beyond this new panel on my computer where I see all the phone numbers with little sound signal next to it, and I got to go from page 1 to page 2 and mute. So I feel like I'm playing the piano here. So who's going to ask the next question, everyone?
Hey, can I ask the next question? This is Blue from Miami, Florida.
Blue! Yeah, absolutely. What's your question, Blue?
I am kind of getting out of a relationship where the girl was kind of my friends with benefits all the time, and now she's found a boyfriend, and she's been my tour guide for everything in my. And now I'm kind of stuck on my own. I don't go out of the house unless I have an assignment to do. And it's this fucked up weird thing where I won't go to the beach, but I will go to a nightclub and shoot. But it's bothering the hell out of me.
Of course.
I had a tour guide for the last 2 years. I gave up my life for this girl, and it's not asking you to please give me back my 2 years because I'll never take. I would go through it again. My question is how do you break through the cycle of relying on a girl, and now that the person's just completely unreliable, and you have to move on?
Well, it's all in the way you frame it, Blue. Notice you use words to define what's happening that you didn't invent. You heard other people use them. Move on, break through, and you must focus a little bit more about the opportunity. There's beauty in once again being able to be the man who's free. You just don't know who's going to be the next one when. You can reconnect with yourself and continue like that after the call tonight. Focus more, dwell on the opportunity, because what we all fear is being at loss, which is understandable. Okay? Now, welcome to the club. It's life. We've all been there, The alternative is to never take a chance. So feel good. You took a chance. Take the lesson. It's not that you gave 2 years and now you're left with nothing. The other day, I was in a situation where a project may have gone down the drain. I also never like to think of things as to final unless I decide so. And it reminded me of that story. It's a silly story. I don't know exactly if it was a story that motivational speakers started to say or if it did happen, but apparently a guy at IBM. And I'm sure you guys, many of you heard that story, but classics like that, you got to hear them again and again. And he made a big goof that costed the company several $1 million. And of course, the next morning he went to work and he started to pack his stuff. And his boss, the manager, CEO, whomever that was, said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "Well, I costed the company so much. I'm leaving. It's pretty obvious." He said, "Put your stuff back down." you just had, let's say it was $3 million that you lost, a $3 million education. So you had a 2-year phenomenal education, and now it's about tapping into that knowledge so you don't do the same thing. And it's behind anyway, you know, and know that you're a better man. And also, if you don't buy into the fucked up frames of the world of like a breakup, you know, you realize that you're ahead of any of the guys that for 6 months, 9 months, 1 year, 2 years have not had any contact with women. So I personally hate it when I hear guys go, I got to get back in the game. I just came out of a relationship. No, you just had pretty much a lot of contact with what women, female flesh, a lot of experience and so on. So take that forward. You know, one of the best meditation teacher I've ever had, Thich Nhat Hanh, used to say, you don't come out of the meditation. You take that into the world. And last, I will say, Blue, before I pass it to Arash, go to the beach. You got to go. You know, it's contrary action. Contrary action. I've been there so many times, and if you let it get to you, it's awful. Most of us, we have a fucked up pattern condition through childhood where if things get a little worse or we imagine they're getting worse, we do less of the good things, less of the fun things. So the opposite makes more sense. This is a good time to play music louder than ever. This is a good time to go take pictures in known clubs where you've never been. It's a good time to rekindle with people that you didn't have a chance to talk to very much. It's also a really good fucking time to revisit. We're going to be in Vegas soon. And last time you kicked us with the picture. So official invite, get your ass down there, you know. But do things. Go to the beach. Go to the museum. And even if 99% of you doesn't want to go, go. Okay? All right? I'll pass it to Arash. You're going to be all right, Blue.
Well, it sounds...
It's all going to get better.
One last comment. I did close her 25 plus times, so it wasn't all without reward.
Okay. Well, regardless of what the situation, it sounds like you're heartbroken. Is that right or no? Would it be accurate to say your heart is broken?
I'm about to go into the building. I'll talk to you guys later. I'll
there you
try
go.
to go to Vegas. Talk to you later. Bye.
There's the answer. Okay, next.
All right. Next answer. It's funny, Arash, you know, oftentimes it's when guys get the closest to the answer, it's a little bit like solution anxiety where they quickly want to bail or they quickly have another story. So hang in there. Hear the whole lesson if you have a question. But he'll be all right, and there's value for everybody.
Wait no longer. Search no further. You are about to progress faster than ever with the most innovative, multi-dimensional mega event of a lifetime. The Global Seduction, Lifestyle, and Relationships Convention in Hollywood, September 23rd, 24th, 25th, 2016. So much more than a summit, featuring only the best of the best true pillars of the pickup community. Vince Kelvin, Arash Dibazar, Bad Boy, Hypnotica, Adam Lyons, David Wygant, Akito Mosley, John Keegan, and James Marshall. No conference can even compare. Nothing ever like it. Lectures, workshops, parties, club access, boot camps, VIP dinner, party bus, and lifestyle exhibit. But hurry, price goes up as event gets closer. So get your ticket today at www.globalslr.com or call 323-309-3219. That's www.globalslr.com or call 323-309-3219.
Next question for Arash, gentlemen.
I have a question since no one is saying anything. My question is, I wanted to know what was going through your mind when you did such a big leap in your life.
What was
Like,
going
you know,
through my mind when I what?
When you did a big leap that you were like, you know what, I'm going to go full throttle and do this. And, you know, because your life is huge, you know, and you're getting bigger and bigger every day type of thing. So, when you made that decision to go for it, what was going through your mind? Like, what did you have to give up? And, what kind of bridges did you burn? What decisions did you make?
Oh, God. Yeah, I did. I burned every bridge. I did whatever I had to do. No, there was just never any other options in my mind. I knew what I wanted, and I went for it. But interestingly, as you're saying that, you should recognize something. Everything that I've created has now ended up becoming a trap for me. So we should also look at this side while I'm here, and I can talk about it. So you look from the outside, and I know it's quite an amazing looking life, and it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, I'm sure. At the same time, it's become a trap for my mind, for my soul, and that's what I'm re-evaluating. That's why I'm re-looking and readjusting my experience, because the reality of the situation is that when I asked him, I said, sounds like you're heartbroken. Is that true or not? And the reality of the situation is, I think what's more important than what I'm showing in my life is the commitment, right? The commitment, the total unflinching movement towards trying to find the next level of truth. So if you ask me what went through my mind to create this life, it's always been me trying to find the next level of truth. And it's resulted in what you're seeing, because when you have, the next level of truth, you can do things with it that others can't. For example, what we know of the laws of physics right now, they didn't know about it 150 years ago. And so we can do things today that they couldn't do back then. The laws of physics are always here. We just now are able to, we've come up in awareness, you could say, that we can see it and use it. And so if we look at my life and where it's going and what I'm creating, yes, a lot of incredible things in it. But you got to look a little bit deeper and just say, well, how, right? How the fuck does someone do this? And the answer is really simple. I'm 100% committed to finding and exploring and discovering, coming up in awareness to the next level of truth. And when I find it, I put it into action. And since I like women, since I like business and whatever else I like, I succeed in those areas. But it's not so much a matter of like what decision did you have to make, because it's your life.
I got you.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's totally your life, and you're going to live it whether you like to or not. You're going to go through this life. So at the end of it, you're going to have to look back, and it's going to have to be something that hopefully was worth the time you put in. So in my case, I've come to realize recently that if I stopped right now, I don't think it's worth the time I've put in. And that's quite a realization. So now I'm on a restructuring and finding out what really makes me happy. And that's what I want you to take a look at. And maybe it takes having a lot of women to come to that realization, but that's what it takes. That's what it takes. So just be committed to your truth. Be committed to living your life the way you want to live, and looking ahead and seeing your life at the end. At the end of your life, whenever that day comes, and you look back, was it worth it? And how can you answer that question? How will you know? How the fuck will you know if it was worth it or not? So that's it.
It makes sense. I appreciate it. Really good.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, we're ready for the next question.
What's up, guys? It's Dave from Maine. My question is, when you go out with somebody and you have a wing or you're winging for somebody, is it better to, at least in the beginning, obviously once you get more skillful, it's easier, but in the beginning, is it better to try and have an entire interaction planned out between you and your buddy and try and stick as close to that as you can, or just have like some basic understandings between the two of you?
What do you mean?
Like me and the dude that I've been going out with, we're starting to kind of plan on, like, I don't know. I want to, my question is to, when we go out, is it better to try and like plan an interaction from open to wherever,
Okay. Well,
don't-
here are the things you got to take into consideration. Okay. A really, really, really bad combination is more cocks than pussy. And you see a lot of average guys do that. I was on my balcony the other day, and a girl passed by, and there were 7 guys around her. So what those guys are going to do is cock block each other, demean each other, and the girl feels so special because now she gets all that attention. So one rule that I always recommend is never exceed the amount of girls. So if there's one girl, whomever, second rule, started the interaction, runs the show with her. Okay? So don't exceed. If there's one girl, your buddy starts to talk or you start to talk, whomever started runs the show. The other one should be on standby. And the time when most guys are not going to come in is when another dude tries to come in. So that is a great rule to have. If I'm talking to a girl and some dude comes in, you come in. Now, then there's also, okay, what if you're talking to 2 girls? For as long as the 2 girls are totally into you, then you're lowering your chances to have a threesome if your buddy comes in. But if one really starts to be a distraction, then your buddy coming in might be a good thing. So have little signals, okay? One signal might be, unless there's an invitation, oh, by the way, meet my friend so-and-so, then that's a signal, don't step in, I'm good. All right? Also, sometimes it might be good to be clear with things, especially on the streets. If you start to talk to a girl, and your buddy starts to talk to another girl, and those 2 girls don't know each other right in front of it, unless you guys are going hardcore direct, and you go, yeah, we're talking to everybody. We're totally flirting with you guys. Hey, who's next? Then it might be best that for the time being he refrains, because this way she feels more special. When one guy talks to one girl, the guy is special, the girl feels special, and it's a special occurrence. When another guy is coming and starts to talk, then the first guy is no longer special, the second one's no longer special, and she feels special but in the wrong way. Then you can go more advanced stuff. One thing that I love is the good cop, bad cop thing, where you alternate. And to resolve the fact that oftentimes women have staying anxiety and they go, we got to go. When one is talking, the other one is kind of on standby, and suddenly you can tell that either you're talking, and you can tell, your buddy can tell that you're kind of staling a little bit, and the girl starts to show signs that she's about to go, I got to go. Then it might be a good time for your buddy to come in because it's fresh, and he goes, oh, yeah, by the way, and the basic questions reoccur again, where are you from? And then when that stales, you go back in, okay? And here's my best recommendation with winging. Expect the unexpected, meaning everything can become a problem if something that was unexpected starts to happen and it gets to you. You never want anything to get to you. If it really gets to you, speak about it with your wing later on to set new rules, but don't show any signs on sight that it's getting to you. You could always step in. Sometimes I'm talking to a girl, some guy, my buddy starts to talk too much, and I go, he always fucking does that, right? All night long. This guy's not been talking to a single girl. Now, because I'm talking to you, he starts to talk. Oh, what a buddy. Remind me to invite you again next time. And I laugh, okay? But I don't want to say too much. I'm getting excited. I want to pass it to Arash. And do remember, last thing, guys will get weird. It takes a truly unique, solid man to not get a little bit weird. So here's one thing that you got to make clear with your wings. Your wings are going to most likely respect the rules all the way until it's a really unique opportunity. If a girl is super sexual or super, super sexy and she stands out, you'll see the very same guys that were respecting the rules totally break them. So be prepared for that and be clear about that, okay? And then in the worst case, AMOG the person and go solo also sometimes, because it's fun to have a wing, but eventually the wing's not going to be there in the bedroom, okay? So I'll pass it to Arash. I don't know if Arash, you want to add to that or take the next question?
No, I think that summed it up very well.
And by the way, I've never had a winging experience, and it doesn't even compare than what I experienced when we were with Arash. There's
Yes,
a
of
natural, genuine code of conduct, where nothing is really an issue. It flows, and I just, it's a delight. So, meanwhile, next question for Arash.
If I might continue on my first question that I had, please, if nobody's going to answer.
Sure, go.
Again, that woman that called earlier, the question was so silly, and of course, in the middle of the thing, she just went doing on her thing, and that's why I'm trying to ask a little bit bigger questions here. I think sometimes I get misunderstood, but the question arises, again, sometimes I feel like I even told last time I can do anything, and again, I feel like, why even do anything? Sometimes I'm like, Arash says, what makes you happy? At the same time, I feel just being alive makes you extremely happy. Why not just go in the Himalayas, per se, and just whatever, do nothing, be a monk, versus like, go in the other direction and try to achieve something big in your life. If that makes any sense, great. I guess.
And yeah, that makes 100% sense to me. So
it's like, why do anything? Life is. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, look, if you think you should go to the mountains and live in the mountains as a monk, that makes you happy, I really don't think you should fucking go around accumulating women and money and whatever. I mean, shit. That's what makes you happy. That fucking makes you happy. The only time that I would advise against something like that is if someone said something crazy, like, it makes me happy to harm another human being or rape or, you know what I mean? Like that shit, no. Don't do that shit. But what you're saying, fuck, man. I mean, there is, you see, okay, exactly what you're saying is what I was saying. Sometimes we get caught up into what we think is happiness, what we think we should have because of the propaganda, or not even just propaganda, other people's lack of something, right, makes us think that by having that thing, we now have the happiness that we desire. And that's just not true, okay? It's just not true. So my answer to you, I'm sure Vince has something to say about it, but my answer to you is if you think if you're happy, and you said, I'm happy with just being alive, and sometimes maybe you just want to go to the Himalayas, well, brother, then that's what you should do. Fuck getting women, fuck the money, fuck all that dumb shit, and go do what you got to do.
No, I hear you. I'm kind of giving big extreme examples here, but, sometimes I feel like, the world is just kind of a lot of like that woman. It's like everybody in this world is becoming like your game and your life has to be, I feel, in such a peak just to even have a communication with people these days. People are like shutting down. You can't even say hello. Just saying a hello, it's like throwing a grenade. It's like, I just said hello, like anybody almost, man, female, any gender, just hating for hating for the way people look, speak. It's like, it's like, wow, the world is like, again, like that woman was a perfect example. She said a thing. She's like, I'm going to Vegas, and moved on in some stimulus outside of her,
Yeah.
I'm not very clear with what exactly happened with the woman. Sorry, Arash, I didn't know you were adding. No, please go ahead.
He's talking about Blue. It wasn't a woman. It was a man. I'm just not correct.
Okay, it was a man? Oh, I'm sorry. The first question, it was.
Voice.
Yeah. I thought it was. Okay. I thought she said something about lesbian or against her girlfriend when lesbian. I don't know. But,
no. It was a man with a thin voice. I know who he is.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, my answer is still the same. You find what makes you happy if you do it. And you're right. The state of society is pretty fucked up, and that's one of the things that I've come to realize on a deeper level. And I want to do something about it. I think everybody thinks I've been doing something about it, but not at the level that I know I can. I have a lot of ability, and there's been a shift in my mind of how I want to teach and how I want to help people, and I'm doing it in this call. So that's me, Vince.
Yeah.
Here's something that is going to be so helpful. Life is like a dance. And because it's in motion, you cannot expect a straight line. So even in our highest moments of motivation, it's going to fluctuate around us. And to further proclaim your own independence, you want freedom from the events around you. Awareness, yes. Options, possibilities, humility, being real, but at the same time, freedom. And one of the simplest examples to be able to navigate through life more easily is to understand shifting gears. So when you're moving in a direction and what you're doing serves you. If there is a shift, just like if you're driving a stick shift, you need to shift. Example, I'll give you the most basic one and then something a little more complex. You go to a place where you're going to go have fun, pick up women, and going to that place juices you. And to think about going there empowers you. So add more details. A place that always juices me here in LA for years is the Roosevelt Hotel. So if I'm going to the Roosevelt, I go, yeah, Roosevelt tonight, and I give details, and it juices me. But if somehow you're going to a place that intimidates you, instead of adding more details that are going to emphasize the intimidation, then you may want to go a little more abstract. Yeah, I'm going to go check out this place. It's a place somewhere and there's people. So that's an example of shift of gear, to go from very specific to go to more abstract, specific to abstract. Now, there's a time when everything is coming together and all seems to be in order. So you're from a mode of operation where you're like a man on a mission and you got a real sense of control around you, and suddenly something unexpected happens. So it may help to shift gear and go more in a mode of surrender, let it be, don't jump to conclusion. So 2 examples, there's so many. The terminology in your linguistic programming is metaprograms. I did an intense study and piece on that many years ago. I wanted to identify as many shifts of gear as possible, but it's important to shift gear. And then almost like rhythm, the law of rhythm. I used to be a drummer, and rhythm fascinates me. So you have random. If we put a song together, you're going to have random stuff here and there, but it's not going to repeat. Then you're going to have a steady pulse. Boom, 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 boom. And then you're going to have motion. Maybe it's going to go from what is known as the chorus to then again just the verse. And there may be a back and forth between the two. And then you're going to have moments of amplification in volume, loudness, and moments when it's being a little bit reduced. So when there is a lot of motion, which is kind of like a rhythm, it's important to quickly go back to the constant, which is your pulse, your rhythm, your essence, like Arash said, going back to his own truth. Because there you find reassurance, because you know that can stay. Things will move and that can stay. It's also important to know when to respond and when not to. One of my favorite saying that I use a lot is 10,000 things will rise, 10,000 things will fall. In the midst of it all, stand still. Last week, 2 things happened in my life that were completely unexpected, but I refused to partake in them. I continued with my own rhythm, and eventually it resolves itself.
This summer, treat yourself with the dream hot babe-packed vacation and education of a lifetime. 1 entire week, ultimate, hardcore, badass, round-the-clock training and pickup with the world's top gurus. Announcing the 2016 7th Annual Pickup Academy Total Manhood Makeover, July 11th to 17th, 2016, in Venice Beach and Hollywood, California, with Vince, Kelvin, Arash Dibazar, and such guest speakers as Hypnotica, Aikido, Adam Lyons, and many more surprises. Party bus, makeovers, dance classes. Go to www.seductioncoaching.com to reserve your spot. Hurry, sliding scale. Catch the best deal now.
I'm looking at the time. We're in the final stretch for the live caller. There's going to be a little bonus after that, but the recorded call, we got about just 5 minutes. The most exciting thing coming up is Las Vegas Pure Pickup. We're about to boost the price on, I believe, Thursday, and hopefully you get it before the recording is out. we're going to give an opportunity during the next 48 hours to for one or two last lucky ones to go at still the early bird, and then we're going to boost the price. Another quick announcement, gentlemen. We have released 5 of the prior podcasts. They're all available at vincekelvinpodcast.com. Vince Kelvin's podcast, and you'll find them on our Facebook as well. And we release 5 in 1 week. Share them, listen to them. It's helpful, even if you call live, to hear your questions again. So, one final question of the evening for the recorded call, and after that, we're going to merge to an additional 10 minutes for the live callers. Thank you, guys.
All right, guys, what's going on? This is Terrence Lee from Miami, Florida.
Your volume can be a little louder, if that's okay.
Okay, so my question is, so I left my job recently about 2 weeks ago to start my business, and things were going well, but I didn't my business was already started. I thought I'd be able to quit and go full-time. Turns out I wasn't able to do that. So I'm back in my job now, and the 2.5 weeks that I was gone, I went through a lot of changes. I was studying a lot more, and I became a lot more masculine and a lot less apologetic for the mentality, for the way that I am. So since I've been back into the hotel, I've noticed that people are responding differently to the way that I act. Like I noticed that I might just be a little bit more of an asshole. And I also realize that I don't really care about these people's emotions. So my question is, I know I'm only going to be working in this place for maybe 4 or 5 more months, but until I'll be running my business full time. So my question is, should I stick it out in this hotel, or should I just look for another place to work until I have enough money and time to run my business full time? What would you guys do in this situation?
Arash?
Okay.
And hold on. The reason why I'm actually only considering staying in the hotel that I'm in now is because it's 5-star. It has a lot more. I learn a lot more from the people that I work with, but I'm thinking if I go to another hotel, I'll probably make more money, but I'll learn a lot less. So there are pros and cons in this situation. So my question is, what would you do in my situation knowing that you'll be running your business full time in the next 4 months, but currently you're in a situation and you're kind of tired of how people are responding to the change in your personality?
Yeah. I'll answer it this way, and then you'll see.
Okay.
If anybody knows me online, if you're listening and you follow me, you know what's going on. There's no doubt in anyone's mind that I'm alpha and I'm dominant. I consider myself to be one of the most alpha dominant men on the planet. And it's very important that everybody listens carefully to what I'm about to tell you. One of the biggest mistakes that I've made recently, that I just come to this realization in the last couple of days, is allowing that alpha dominant energy to prevent me from really looking and really paying attention to what the fuck is in front of me. Okay? Now, I'm talking specifically with women, okay? And I could do very miraculous things with women that seem magical. However, the next level of alpha, I believe, has awakened in me. And it's really simple, okay? Think of it as a lion that is malnourished, right? It hasn't eaten in a long time, but it's still a lion. It's got the teeth, it's got the claws, and it's kind of ravenous. It's running around, it's kind of savage. Imagine the energy of that lion, what that's like. And then I want you to think about another lion that is the most well-fed lion in the jungle. It hunts, it kills, it's full-grown, it looks different. You can't see its ribs. It's just muscular and powerful. And it's well-fed. And when it walks around, it's still a lion, but it's fully well-fed. The difference between those two lions, okay, needs to be understood. Because what happened to me, I went from the malnourished lion to the well-fed lion. The well-fed lion looks a little bit longer, pays attention, and calculates a little bit better on, should I hunt, should I not? Do I let this one slide, do I not? Should I learn something from this? Because why? It's not affecting me. It's not affecting me the way that I thought it was affecting me. I'm okay. In fact, I'm more than okay. I need to fucking get it together here. So be careful with that. I don't like the word be careful. Be aware of that alpha energy that you come back with because it's been dormant for so long. It's been not there. When it comes back, it comes back pretty aggressively and savagely, and I get it. And you know what? You probably got to have to go through it. However, at some point, you may end up doing what I did, which suddenly shifted my world. I ended up hurting somebody, not physically, by the way. I ended up hurting somebody that I truly care about. And I was oblivious to it. I was not aware of it. I thought everything was cool. And then I saw what my actions and behavior created. And suddenly I was in shock. I had to reevaluate quickly and go, what the fuck happened here? Why am I now suffering so greatly because of something that I feel I did incorrectly to damage someone I like so much, right? I love so much. So as long as it's like the hotel employees and you don't really give a shit about your job because you're leaving and all that, it's not going to matter. But there's a danger in that. There's a danger in that when I was going around last week, week before, when Vince saw me 2 weeks ago, I was just fucking shit up. In fact, if you watch a video of Vince and I, that we have two black girls with us, and, you know, I was hanging out with one, he was hanging with the other. By the end of the night, that girl was in tears, just so you know. She was crying. She was crying her eyes out. And that's fine. I didn't really give a shit. Okay? I felt like she fucking needed to cry at that moment. Well, guess what? That girl ended up being, later, one of my girlfriends, who I do love. Now, it was the same scenario, the same guy, different girl, same energy, different girl. And since I couldn't see it with that first girl, I couldn't see it with my girlfriend. However, when I saw the effect that it created on my girlfriend and how it damaged my relationship, a relationship that I value, that I care about, that without it I wouldn't be so happy anymore. Then I was like, whoa, we need to fucking start again and look at this whole goddamn thing again. So be aware, because that energy is so powerful and dominant, and it goes forward, and nothing can stop it, man. It's fucking crazy. But if it hits the wrong, it's like a sword, right? Double-edged sword. If it cuts the wrong person, you might then suddenly grab the sword and cut your own arm off. And I was aware not to do that. So that's my answer. I can't answer whether you should say it or not, but there's something I do want to comment on in regards to alpha energy, because that's the code that I cracked, about 4 or 5 weeks ago. And that's where I'm at with it.
Wow.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. I'll pitch in super fast. First, go for what you'll have after you leave those hotels. Core value. Focus more on that, because this is what we call the law of 4. You could stay in the same hotel and not do too well and postpone your success. You could stay in the same hotel and do quite well. You could go in a new hotel and not do that well. You could go in a new hotel and do very well. So what resides deeper than that? Go back to simple things, the basics, like the practice of excellence. Because if every day you practice excellence, when you bail from whichever hotel you're going to bail from into your own business, that you will take with you. Okay? Also, learn as much as you can, but don't learn necessarily for them. And trust also, fucking trust. Meaning, if you're in that hotel and all goes to shit, maybe that's the wake-up call you needed to crank it up and go back out there into your own business, but this time a little more do or die. Okay? So you got to trust and rely on what you can do. And what you can do is kick ass no matter what. Prepare every day. Anticipate. And then if people are not really supportive of your success, well, you're probably going to have even more of that, once you step out of the horde and start to be more, independent. So you want to, maybe that's your workout. Maybe that's your blessing, I mean, I traveled a lot when I was a kid. I lived in London. I lived in Amsterdam. I lived in Paris. I lived in many cities in Germany and so on. But for extended period of time, also stayed in Switzerland, in a small town over there. And, you know, everything that I did over there was so criticized. I was a tattoo artist. I was a musician. I dressed differently. I talked differently. And people just went at it nonstop. And looking back on it, thank God, that's what made me who I am. And then last thing I will say to contribute to this is think of 3 modes. The first one, I call it the Stallone. You know, Sylvester Stallone, when he wanted to sell the movie Rocky, he did a do or die. He even sold his dog at the time. He found it back afterwards. Girlfriend bailed because he pawned her jewelry. So he had nothing to lose. That's pretty hardcore. Not everybody can handle that. Not everybody can do that. Sometimes you try to avoid that, and life brings you there. Then there's like the in-between. You say, okay, 6 months, be clear. I remember also something they often encourage in college. Watch getting a job, because your job will bring you more money, but then it's easy to also spend the money, okay? So you will make more money, but it doesn't have to be right now. You need to make up your mind, you know? If you're starting a business, maybe you go through a grace period where I'm putting things together. So this is not the time, well, I will want to have the most money that I've ever had, okay? So that in between, you give yourself 6 months, you stay clear. Why? What am I doing? I'm learning right now. I'm building my character, so I'm not so affected by people disliking what I'm doing or saying and my dreams. And at the same time, I'm saving a little bit of money, so I'm going to make sure I do that. That's semi-conservative, semi-daring. And then there's the more conservative approach. So evaluate where you are on that scale. Guys, check out the 5 first podcasts that have been released. Share them with people. So much is coming. Also, Global SLR, it's approaching. It's time, if you didn't get your tickets at discounted early bird, it's time to jump on them. Everybody's coming. And, well, be on the lookout. I'm going to visit a few more cities. We got Las Vegas coming, Arash and myself. It's in just 3 weeks. You got to jump on this one. And then there will be the following cities on my side with Arash via Skype. There's going to be San Francisco. It'll probably be in person. I'm going to San Francisco again. The dates are on my website. There's Hollywood coming up as well. And there's going to be Seattle and Portland, Oregon, and then London, briefly, one weekend. So when we announce those cities, there's going to be 24 hours to get in for 2 guys per city at a bit of a discounted rate. In the meantime, we're going to end the recording aspect of the call, and looking at the time, you know, so thank you guys who are listening to the podcast afterwards.
You've been listening to The Real Kings of Pickup with Vince Hollywood Kelvin and Arash motherfucking Dibazar. Brought to you by www.globalslr.com. Call live every Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to get your questions answered. Just dial 701-801-1220. Then enter 129-779-160, followed by the pound key. To get your free pickup starters kit, go to www.seductioncoaching.com now. And remember, stay sexy.